Well, hey there, howdy, folks. It's Doug again. I'm coming at you today with a very special episode. Doug's saves his bug out bag. Okay, now I like this thing, and I never use it, but I had one and it was stolen, and I gotta tell you that one was much better. That one was probably a couple $100 more than this one's worth. So you gotta bear with me, but I put this one back together, and I'm pretty proud of it. So I want to go over what I have. Just in case something like happens where, it's called a bug out bag. It's like if something like majorly like happens, something that you can use to survive, at least for a given amount of time. So, footer line bag. Okay. You do not want to be shot. Okay? If you're walking around not wanting to get shot, having one of these on is a pretty good way to do that. That's why it's required to do. So, not my favorite, but just in case, hey, if you're walking around in the woods and you do not want to get shot, put some orange on. I'm telling you, it'll probably work out. Especially where you're out, like during sunrise and sunset, when it's a little bit harder to see in like the twilight zone area where it's gonna be dark or it's gonna be light, but it's not quite. That's the best time for hunters to shoot. And if you're out during that time, you're gonna want to have some orange on. Next up, Spade. Tiny little Spade, but you can buy these at any little store. It folds out. You tighten it up. Dig yourself a little foxhole. Not something that I would say is like absolutely 100% necessary, but something that I like. I would like to have in that situation. Okay. Spade. This is very important. This is something that, and it's relatively inexpensive. Water purification system. Now, the one I got, I believe this was at Meijer's, and it was about $25. But that's 100,000 gallons of water, folks. And that was my MOS in the Army, so I'm here to tell you that you can go a few weeks without food, but you can only go 2-3 days without water before you start seeing symptoms of dehydration. And you don't want the dehydration, man, I tell you what. Water. If you're going to have a bug out bag, this will purify up to 100,000 gallons of water, which will give you quite a little bit. Something that is relatively important. Just a regular pair of binoculars. There's no firearm in here. There's no scope or anything. So I keep just a regular old pair of, just so I can get a little bit of better scouting. Samwise Gamgee, you're going to need rope, okay? It's going to come in handy at some point. You're going to want rope. Whether it be making traps for animals or any number of sort of things that you're going to want rope for. Sewing kit. What was this? Well, it doesn't have the price on there, but it wasn't that expensive, and your backpack, your clothes, your shirt, your coat is gonna rip in the elements. If you are like out in the wilderness trying to survive, you're gonna want to make sure all your gear is in proper functioning state, especially when it rains or it gets cold. So, not my specialty, not something that I particularly go out of my way to do, but in a pinch, you're gonna want to have that stuff. I'm telling you right now. Special long johns. Okay, that's for colder weather, but it's better to be prepared because it does get cold at night in the summer times too. So, better to be prepared to have a little bit extra insulation on your body. Just a general basic rule. Now, my fire starter kit. Woohoo! Where things get a little interesting. 2 lighters. Bic. I wrote a paper on Bic. They're a great company. What's this? Fire starter kit. These are combustible, okay? So, not combustible, but they're very flammable. And the extra little flints on there. That will start a fire. Now, you have to roll this little roller on it, which creates a spark on those little flints, and then these things catch on fire. Pretty standard, although not expensive. Kind of vital. And like I said, yeah, oh sure, a lighter, but you're going to want this too, because that lighter is going to eventually go out. In a little waterproof thing. This is another sparker, okay? You clamp that down on the thing. It has a little push, like a little directions thing. But you slam this down and it creates friction, which creates a spark, which creates what? A fire. Thank you. Magnesium bar? You want to shave this off? Helps you catch some flame. Am I right? Okay. And then this is a little pocket saw. So you get some wood, and without having to have an axe or something of that nature, you can cut wood to make a fire. Wood generally helps. You're going to need some kindling. But I'm not talking about how to build a fire here. I'm talking about what's in my bag that I want to have. See what that says? Coarse and then fine. Okay, but it's a knife sharpener. Pretty vital. You're going to want to have, like I said, your gear's got to be in top shape. So, yeah, having the gear is good, but having ways to maintain your gear kind of goes hand in hand. Gloves, hat. Like I said, my old bag had a lot more stuff. I had a lot more time with it. But this is what I have now. And I mean, in a pinch, I'm going to have this all prepared. I'll be able to pick it up and go. And I know you're thinking, what about yeah, sure, I had that insulation, but I have another bag full of just socks, underwear, undershirts, and some t-shirts. And then I have a bag that's full of other gloves, other hats, more pants and overshirts, your heavier dutier stuff. So yeah, you're gonna want clean clothes. You don't want to be sitting out with wet socks on. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So and then this Gerber knife. Sharpen it up. And with these things, yeah, like I said, World War III breaks out. Russia decides to drop all communications in the United States for a time, and everybody's in the city running around with their hair on fire. Not Doug, not me. I will have a bit of extra preparation, and I'm not saying that everybody should run out and get exactly what I have, but it is good to have a bit of a preparation, in case something major happens, because I'm talking about hypersonic weapons that are going to knock out communication satellites, which is what your phone uses to communicate. And if that happens on a wide enough scale, it is going to be anarchy, folks. The police aren't going to be able to talk to anybody, and that's not nuclear war. That's just a communication satellites. What did I read the other day? That the Chinese have a plan to go ahead with destroying every single one of Elon Musk's Starlink satellites. So in case of something like that, yeah, it's a good idea to at least think about these things and store them away in an easily accessible place that it won't take too much time to get up and go. All right, and so with that being said, folks, I really do appreciate if you watch this. You are the resistance, and I hope that makes you feel better. And so until next time, folks, have the best day possible, and until then, adieu.